This call is now being recorded.
So we were discussing about the auxiliary memory. Okay. So whenever we talk about the auxiliary memory, the most important memories are such as hard disk drive as well as magnetic tape drive. So these are the most common auxiliary memory used now, right now. So whenever you use your laptop or desktop, etc., then you uses the hard disk drive at there. But for permanent storage of data, you generally uses the magnetic tape drive. So long time backup is always taken onto the magnetic tape drive. So information organization of the magnetic tape is available here. That whenever we talk about the magnetic tape drive, we can know the magnetic tape drive just like
सर आपकी आवाज बहुत धीरे आ रही है
ठीक है बेटा ना. So I am just saying whenever you talk about the magnetic tape drive, then in that situations you can think about the such as the video reel whatever you've seen in childhood days, such as you run the video reel onto the video player. You know that a lot of movies, whenever you talk about the 20 years back, all the movies are present with the video tape drive. That is the VCD player you have, and you generally inserted at there. That is some of the reels are there, and that is basically the magnetic tape. You also talk about the audio CD, audio cassette, and audio cassette also. Whatever the content presented there, that is also the magnetic tape is there. So for long-term survival, we generally save our data onto the magnetic tape drive. Whenever we talk about the organization of a disk hardware, that is the uh, hard disk drive, then basically we see that some of the layers are there. So in the some of the layers, some moving head are there and some fixed head are there. And we read the data by moving the head disk onto the particular block or sector of the hard disk drive. And how the data is going to be stored inside the hard disk drive. So generally we said that automatically whenever we talk about the hard disk drive, automatically the electromagnetic effect got created. And due to the electromagnetic effect, automatically the data is going to be stored within the hard disk drive. So hard disk drive contains the track is there. So multiple tracks are there, and one is the head is there. That is the fixed head is there, as well as one is the moving head is there. And why using the head left and right, we basically read the data or write the data onto the different blocks of the hard disk drive. So this is basically known as the auxiliary memory. So whatever the memory you see right now today, such as it is the hard disk drive, it is the flash drive, it is the pen drive, it is the compact disk, and it is basically the magnetic tape drive. These all are the basically well-known name for the auxiliary memory. The most common auxiliary memory is basically known as the hard disk drive. Next is the associative memory. What do you understand by the term associative memory? So whenever we talk about the associative memory, it is accessed by the content of the data rather than by an address. So whenever we want to access the memory by using the content, not by the address, then we are saying that the stuff of memory is basically known as the associative memory. And associative memory also, since we generally working onto the data directly without going to reach onto the address part of the data. So we are also saying this memory is also known as the content addressable memory. So associative memory, that is the AM, is also known as the CAM, that is content addressable memory. So the hardware organization of the content addressable memory has been given here, that you have an argument register that is going to be represented by any of the register symbol, that is A, B, C, etc. Here we are representing the register symbol argument register with the symbol A is there. Then key register is there, that is again going to be represented by the register, any of the symbolic representation such as K is there as per the Morris Mano, and it is associated with the memory. So memory is basically the formation of the array and logic. So associative memory is basically the formation of the array and logic, and this memory, this is the content addressable memory. It is the M word memory, and there is the N bit per word is possible in the M word memory. So we are saying here that whenever we talk about this memory, so the M words are possible in the memory, and each and every word contains the N bit at there. So you can think about the memory. So some of the input you are passing inside the memory, then read lines are there as well as write lines are there. And finally, whenever the register matches, the data is going to be transferred inside the another bus, and by through bus it is going to be transmitted again onto the permanent storage device. So compare each word in content addressable memory in parallel with the content of A, that is the argument register. If content addressable memory, that is CAM, word I equals to A, comma mi equals to 1. So read sequentially assessing CAM for CAM word I for mi equals to 1 at there. So K is basically the key register, provides a mask for choosing a particular field or key in the argument in A. Only those bits in the argument that have ones in their corresponding position of K are compared. So basically we are saying here that whenever we talk about the match register data, if the corresponding bit 1 came, then the data will be matches, otherwise data will not be matches at there. So organization of a content addressable memory.
सर एसोसिएटिव मेमोरी सर यूज कहाँ पर होती है सर?
सिस्टम के अंदर यूज होती है आपका कई सारे
किस पर्पस के लिए?
कंटेंट एड्रेसेबल, जहां हम कंटेंट से डाटा को आइडेंटिफाई करना चाहते हैं, एड्रेस हमारा कंसर्न नहीं है, वहां हम कंटेंट एड्रेसेबल मेमोरी का यूज करेंगे. ठीक है ना. सो मेमोरी के टाइप हैं, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ टाइप ऑफ मेमोरी. जैसे कल भी हमने कई सारे टाइप बताए थे. जैसे हमने रोम की बात की तो हमने कहा कि रोम में जनरली वी कैन नेवर रीड एंड वी कैन नेवर राइट द डाटा इनसाइड द रोम, बट वी आर सेइंग हियर दैट EPROM is available there where we can write the data also. So erasable, programmable, read-only memory are there where we can write the data. In the same situations, a lot of type of memories are available, such as the one of the associative memory is also available. So what is the structure of the associative memory? Here we are discussing that A is represented here the argument register, K is represented here the key register, and finally the look of the memories look like this. That content addressable memory is present in the multiple form of rows, that C11, C12, C13, C1n, like that, and the C11, C1j, C1n, again CM1, CMJ, CMN, like that. The content addressable memories are present in the horizontal form, and we are saying here that word 1, word 2, word 3 up to and so on, word m are presented there. So each and every word is the n bit. We can say n bit. Every word is of n bit here. So we are saying here C11, C1j, C1n means to say n bit are there in a single word. That is word 1. Again CI1, CIJ, CIN. Again we are saying that at the ith word, that is total number of bits are n bits are there. Again word m is there, again the total number of bits in the word m is equivalent to n is there. So basically this is we are talking about the word, and finally we are sending it onto the matching parameter, that is m1, m2, m3 up to and so on. This is the mm, and finally by using the matching parameter, it is going onto the buses and further going onto the register and finally onto the visual display unit. So this is the organization of a CAM, and this organization has been divided. The same organization is presented here, but this is divided like this way, so that you can represent here that each and every word consists of n bit, and total number of words available in this memory is total equals to m is there. So total m word memory is there, and n bits are contained by each and every word of the content addressable memory. Internal organization of a typical cell, that is Cij, is going to be represented by the basically RS flip flop we have taken here, and AND gate and NOT gate we are using like this style, that input is there, that is write line are there, read line is there, and the two AND gate and one NOT gate is also has been used here. And this whatever the content is coming, that is passing inside the AND gate, and AND gate output is going on to the RS flip flop, and from RS flip flop the S output going on to the again AND gate, and read output is going on to the AND gate, and finally the match logic is going to be matched, and this data, whatever the logic has been matched, this is going to be transferred onto the another memory, that is the MI, etc. So this may be the internal organization of a typical cell of the Cij. But this whatever the circuit has been given at here, this is not so simple circuit. Only some of the demo has been shown at here. The actual circuit will be more complex using the RS flip flop. So again, what is the match logic? So whenever we talk about the match logic is there. So the match logic circuit can be look like this, that multiple functions we are passing inside the match logic function, and we are saying that argument register data is there, that is the argument register is there, key register is there. So argument register we are passing here, key register we are passing here, we are passing the multiple functions at here. This data is going into the AND gate, and whatever that we are using the two AND gate for the 2-bit only, and in that situations we are passing this input inside the OR gate, and finally from each and every circuit this data is going to be passed on to the AND gate, and AND gate gives the output, and again it is the data going on to the matching, and finally going on to the another memory. So this is the match logic is there. Little complex circuit actually has been designed whenever we are talking about the content addressable memory, and it is present with the system. Next is cache memory. So cache memory is very famous, and we said it is the fastest memory available in the computer system. And whenever we talk about the cache memory, we talk about the loyalty of reference, as well as whenever we talk about the loyalty of reference, the two types of loyalty we are discussing, that is the temporal loyalty and the spatial loyalty. The loyalty of reference, basically the references to memory at any given time interval tend to be confined within a localized area. This area contains a set of information, and the membership changes gradually as time goes by. The temporal locality, the information which will be used in near future, is likely to be in use already. Example, reuse of information in loops. So that is the part of the temporal loyalty. Spatial loyalty, if a word is accessed, adjacent near words are likely to access soon. Example, related data items, arrays are usually stored together. Instructions are executed sequentially. Whenever we talk about the cache, the property of locality of reference makes the cache memory system works. Cache is a fast, smallest capacity memory that should hold those information which are most likely to be accessed. So we are talking here that main memory is there, main memory associated with the CPU, and the cache memory is there, cache memory associated with the CPU also. Main memory is the hardware which is associated separately than that of the CPU, but cache memory may be associated onto the CPU itself. So we are seeing here that cache memory is faster than that of the random access memory. So we are saying here cache is fast, small capacity memory that should hold those information which are most likely to be accessed. So performance of a cache memory. So memory access, all the memory accesses are directed first to cache. If the word is in cache, access cache to provide it to the CPU. If the word is not in cache, bring a block or line, including that word to replace a block now in cache. So basically we are saying whenever we want to access anything via using the CPU, the word is available in the cache. If the word is available in the cache, the word will be accessed. Otherwise, it will be accessed from random access memory to the cache, and then finally we will access this word via the CPU. So all the memory accesses are directed first to cache. If the word is in cache, access cache to provide it to CPU. If the word is not in cache, bring a block or a line, including that word to replace a block now in cache. How can we know if the word that is required is there? If a new block is to replace one of the old blocks, which one should be used? The performance of a memory system, cache memory system. Whenever we talk about the performance of a cache memory system, there is a hit ratio. The hit ratio, that is percent of memory accesses satisfied by cache memory system, that is basically defined the hit ratio. Basically, we are saying whenever a user want to access the data, and if the data is available inside the cache, then we said the hit is going to be occur. If the data is not available, if the data is not going to be occur within the cache, then in that situations we are saying the data is not available, and this is known as the miss ratio. That is the miss. If data we found the data whenever we want to access, then we said that is the hit is going to be occurred in the cache. If we are searching the data and we are not finding the data inside the cache, we are saying the miss is going inside the cache. So the hit ratio is there, the miss ratio is there. Whenever we talk about the hit ratio, that is percentage of memory access satisfied by cache memory system. The TE basically represent the effective memory access time in cache memory system. The TC basically referred the cache access time, and the TM, that is the main memory access time, is there. So TE, that is the effective memory access time, equals to the TC, that is cache access time, plus 1 minus H multiplied by TM, that is the main memory access time, is there. So H is the hit ratio basically. So example has been given that TC, the main memory access time, is 0.4 microsecond. The TM, the cache access time, is 0.4 microsecond. The TM, that is the main memory access time, is 1.2 microsecond. Hit ratio is 0.85. T, the effective memory access time in cache memory system, will equivalent to the, that is TC plus 1 minus H multiplied by TM. So total we get, that is 0.58 microsecond is the total effective access time in a cache memory system. So we can calculate the effective access time in a cache memory system whenever we know already in advance that what is the cache access time and what is the main memory access time at the end. So memory and cache mapping. So the associative mapping, the mapping function are there, and associative mapping can be discussed on behalf of the mapping function. So whenever we talk about the mapping function, it is a specification of correspondence between main memory blocks and the cache blocks. So whenever we talk about the main memory blocks, we are talking here that three types of mapping functions are available. One is basically known as the associative mapping, another is known as the direct mapping, third one is known as the set associative mapping. So whenever we are talking here about the mapping functions, we said that three types of mapping functions are available. One is basically known as the associative mapping, associative memory mapping. Another is known as the direct memory mapping, and third one is known as the set associative memory mapping. Set associative mapping is there. First, whenever we talk about the associative mapping, we are saying here any block location in cache can store any block in memory, and so we can say it is the most flexible one. So associative mapping, we are saying again, any block location in cache can store any block in memory, and that is basically known as it is the most flexible. Mapping table is implemented in associative memory, and whatever the mapping table we are implementing in associative memory that is very fast, and very expensive also. So whenever we talk about the mapping table, it stores both addresses and the content of the memory word. So whenever we want to know about the associative mapping, these 3 points we have to remember that how the associative mapping is working. So basically we are saying that content addressable memory, that is basically the associative mapping that follow the associative mapping. The address is there as well as data is there, and each and every data is always associated with the some address, and the argument register is there. By using the argument register, we uses the directly data of the content addressable memory, and it is going to be represented via the cache mapping system. Memory and cache mapping, that is basically known as the direct mapping. So whenever we talk about the direct mapping, as we discussed, whenever we are talking about the memory and cache mapping, 3 type of mapping is available. One is the associative mapping, another is the direct mapping, third is known as the set associative mapping. So another is the direct mapping is there. In case of direct mapping, we are saying each memory block has only one place to load in cache. Mapping table is made of random access memory instead of content addressable memory. N-bit memory address consists of 2 parts. One is k bits of index field and n k bits of tag field. The n-bit addresses are used to access main memory, and k-bit index is used to access the cache memory. So addressing relationship, tag bit is there, index bit is there. Suppose any number of bits can be the tag bit, any number of bits can be the index bit. We have taken here the concept of 15 bit. So tag bit have been taken here, the 6 bit, index bit has been taken here, the 9 bit. It is associated, the index is associated with the main memory and the cache memory. So both the memory, either it is the main memory or either it is the cache memory, both the memory always follow the, we can say, always follow the indexing technique whenever we want to access the data either from the main memory or either from the cache memory. So direct mapping cache organization is there. Some of the memory data is there, that is the random access memory data is there, and the cache memory is there. We are saying the cache memory, each and every index is also associated with the direct mapping cache organization, means to say random access memory, and each and every cache address, such as we have taken here 000 to 777 up to that is always mapped with the random access memory. So cache memory having the existence on behalf of the random access memory, and each and every address of the cache memory is also going to be indexed using the random access memory also. So direct mapping operation, whenever we talk about the direct mapping operation, the CPU generates a memory request with tag, that is basically with the index also. Access cache using index tag data, compare tag and tag. If matches hit, means to say whenever we want to access the data, if matches hit, provide cache, that is index data to CPU. If not match, miss, that is m tag index, that cache index data. So cache index, that is the tag, m tag index CPU, that is cache index data. So direct mapping with block size of 8 words has been, the tag is there, index is there. The index is basically the combination of the block and word. So basically block address is also available there. So tag is available there, tag, and also the block is also available there. And on behalf of the block, the word is also available there. So we are saying here, the index is there, the index itself represents the words and also represent the block is there. So index is there, the block is there, and data is there. The word is basically known as the data end there. And the tag is there. So we are saying here, where each and everything, tag, block, as well word are available onto the same position, same memory, then in that situation, we are saying that is the direct mapping with block size of different words. So memory and cache mapping, that is basically known as the set associative mapping. The third type of memory is basically the set associative mapping. So each memory block has a set of locations in the cache to load. So we are saying here that each memory block has a set of locations in the cache to load. Set associative mapping cache with set size of 0 is basically represented here. That is, index is there, tag is there, data is there, again tag is there, again data is there, and this is the set associative mapping cache with set size of 2, where the set size is equivalent to 2 is there. So operation, the CPU generates a memory address, that is tag, and index is going to be generated by the CPU. Access cache with index, that is cache word, equals to tag 0, comma data 0, tag 1, comma data 1. Since it is the set associative mapping, that is the size of 2 at there. Compare tag and tag 0 and then tag 1. If tag I equals to tag hit, CPU assign the value data I. If tag I is not equals to tag, then it is the miss is there. So basically we are saying here that whenever we want to search the data by using the set associative mapping, if we got the tag, it means we are saying the data is available there, means to say hit has been occur, hit has been occur, and transfer the data from data I unit to the CPU. If the tag is not find out, then in that situations the data is not find out, means to say no tag available, then it is no data available, means to say it is the portion, it is the position that whenever we can say it is the miss of data. So this is the miss of data is there. So replace either tag 0, data 0, or tag 1, data 1 is there. Assume tag 0, data 0 is selected for replacement. So why tag 0? Why tag 0, data 0 instead of tag 1, data 1? M tag 0 index is assigned the value, that is the cache index data 0. So cache index tag 0, data 0, assign the value tag M tag comma index is there. So CPU assign the value, this is the cache index data 0. So block replacement policy. So whenever we talk about the memory, the block replacement policy is also available there. So many different block replacement policies are available, such as LRU, that is the least recently used policy, is most easy to implement. Whenever we talk about the cache word, the tag 0, data 0, U0, tag 1, data 1, U1, UI equals to 0 or 1 binary. So replacement, the implementation of least recently used in the set associative mapping with set size equals to 2. So the modification, that is initially all U0 equals to U1 equals to 1. When hit to tag 0, data 0, U0, then U1 assign the value 1, that is the least recently used. When hit to tag 1, data 1, U1, U0 assign the value 1, that is least recently used. When miss, find the least recently used 1, that is UI equals to 1. If U0 equals to 1 and U1 equals to 0, then replace tag 0 comma data 0. M tag 0 index assign the value cache index, that is data 0. Cache index tag 0 data 0 U0 assign the value tag M tag index 0 and U1 assign the value 1. So basically it takes the arbitrary selection whenever we talk about the block replacement policy. We will study the LRU, least recently used policy. We will study the MRU, most recently used policy, and the first come first serve policy also. We will solve the numerical on these three policy and we'll discuss on that all. Write through. When writing into memory, the two situations in the cache write is there. Either it is the write through or either it is the write back. The write back is also known as the copy back. So whenever we want to write in the cache memory, the two situations is going to be occur right there. Either we are doing the write through or either we are doing the write back. And write back is also known as the copy back. So write through, when writing into memory, if hit, both cache and memory is written in parallel. If miss, memory is written for a read miss, missing block may be overloaded onto a cache block. Memory is always updated, important when CPU and DMA IO are both executing. slow due to memory access time. So basically, whenever we are saying about the write through, we can again study when writing into memory. If hit occur, both cache and memory is written in parallel. So write through basically said that cache is going to be written as well as memory is also going to be written, and both the events are going to be occur in parallel. If miss is written, if the cache, if the miss is going to be occur, cache miss is going to be occur, still the memory is written for a read miss, missing block may be overloaded onto a cache block. Slow due to memory access time. We are saying here for a read miss, missing block may be overloaded onto a cache block. Memory is always uploaded. Important when CPU and DMA IO are both executing. It is slow due to the memory access time. Whenever we talk about the copy back, the write back, when writing into the memory, if hit occur, only cache is written. If miss occur, missing block is brought to the cache and write into cache. For a read miss, candidate block must be written back to the memory. Memory is not up to date. That is, the same item in cache and memory may have different value. Next, whenever we talk about the concept of the cache memory, we know very well that size of the cache is very much low. We very well know sometimes the program, whatever we want to execute, it having the very large amount of size, and even this is the size which is not, which is basically not acceptable by the random access memory or as the size of the cache memory is there. Then in that situation, some of the portions of the auxiliary memory associated with the random access memory, and this concept is basically known as the virtual memory concept. So given the programmer the illusion that the system has a very large memory, it basically provides the illusion to the system that whatever the system you are using, it is giving the illusion that your system having a very large amount of memory, even though the computer actually has a relatively small main memory. So address space, that is basically known as the logical space, and the memory space, that is basically known as the physical space. So logical address space is basically known as the logical address, and the physical address space is basically known as the physical address. So virtual address, that is the logical address is there. Basically the address space, it is mapping with the physical address, that is the memory space. Whenever we talk about the virtual address, then it means we are talking about the address generated by the program. And whenever we are talking about the physical address, it means we are talking about the actual main memory address is there. So addressing mapping, memory mapping table for virtual address is always implies to the physical address. So virtual address register is there, memory mapping table is there, memory table buffer register is there. It passes the data inside the main memory address register, and finally from the main memory address register the data is going to be transmitted onto the main memory, and from main memory the final data is going to be transmitted into the main memory buffer register. So basically we are saying to give the illusion to the programmer that the system having a large amount of memory is the concept of the virtual memory. In this case, your random access memory or cache memory size is very minimum, but the program, whatever you want to execute, the size having a very large amount of size, but still get executed in situations. Some of the memory area of auxiliary memory will share the memory with the random access memory. And whenever we are saying that some of the hard disk drive memory will be shared with the random access memory, this is the concept that is basically known as the virtual memory concept. Virtually, we will see that very large amount of memory is present with the system, but exactly it is not so. The random access memory size is very minimum at there. So address
फिजिकल
mapping,
मेमोरी क्या होता है?
क्या बेटा?
फिजिकल मेमोरी क्या होता है सर?
फिजिकल एड्रेस की बात हो रही है। तो फिजिकल एड्रेस की बात क्या हो रही है कि जैसे सपोज हार्ड डिस्क ड्राइव, तो हार्ड डिस्क ड्राइव में क्या है, मेमोरी सेल्स बने हुए हैं, सेक्टर बने हुए हैं, ब्लॉक बने हुए हैं आपके पास, तो उनका अपना एक एड्रेस है। ऐसे ही रैंडम एक्सेस मेमोरी है, तो हर सेल का अपना एक एड्रेस है, तो हर सेल का अपना एक फिजिकल एड्रेस है। लेकिन आपने एक प्रोग्राम को रन कर दिया, अब आपने एक प्रोग्राम को जो रन किया है उसका भी, उसका जो एलोकेशन हुआ वो रैम के अंदर कहीं ना कहीं हुआ, तो उसका जो रैम के अंदर जो एलोकेशन हुआ है उसका जो एड्रेस है, उसके द्वारा जो एलोकेशन हो रहा है रैम के अंदर, उसका जो एड्रेस है वो क्या है, फिजिकल एड्रेस प्लस वर्चुअल एड्रेस, दोनों एड्रेस को मिलाकर ही कैलकुलेट होगा। तो बेसिकली वी आर सेइंग फिजिकल मेमोरी क्या, रैंडम एक्सेस मेमोरी अपने आप में फिजिकल मेमोरी। हमने कहा हार्ड डिस्क ड्राइव अपने आप में क्या है, फिजिकल मेमोरी। बट वी आर टॉकिंग हियर अबाउट द एक्चुअल एड्रेस, यानी वर्चुअल एड्रेस एज वेल एज द फिजिकल एड्रेस। So whenever we are taking here about the physical address, it means we are saying that what is the address present by default with the hardware. Whenever we are saying the virtual address, it means we are saying whatever the program we want to execute, what is the address of each and every cell of the program within the memory, and it is going to be accessed by using the some of the parameter of the basically we can say some of the parameter going fast inside the system via using the program itself as well as the physical address available with you. So whatever the address, whatever the space is going to be occupied by the physical addressing scheme, that is basically known as the physical space. And whenever whatever the space is going to be occupied by the virtual address or logical address, that is basically known as the virtual space, or we can say, you can say that is the logical address space. Okay, so
Yes,
we are
sir.
saying the concept of virtual memory. The virtual memory का concept सिर्फ इतना सा है कि हार्ड डिस्क ड्राइव से कुछ एरिया का रैम के द्वारा शेयर कर लेना रन टाइम पर, और ये इल्यूजन प्रोवाइड कर देना प्रोग्रामर को कि आपके सिस्टम के अंदर मेमोरी की कमी नहीं है, मेमोरी आपके पास बहुत सारी है। दैट इज गोइंग टू बी अकर बाय द वर्चुअल मेमोरी। इतना क्लियर हुआ?
Yes, sir.
Now it is the address mapping with the virtual memory. So this is the, you can see some address table, address space and memory space are each divided into fixed size group of words are called block or pages. So 1K word group is there, address space n equals to 8K equals to 2 की power 30. So 13-bit address is going to be generated at here. Total number of page 7. 8 pages are there. Memory space equals to 4K equals to 2 की power 12. 4K means 4 block is there. Organization of a memory mapping table is page system is there, page number is there, line number is there. Then after that we are representing the memory page table, and here we are representing the main memory. So we can study this address mapping in the next day. Tomorrow we will study about the address mapping and address mapping technique. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
तो आगे पेज फॉल्ट आएगा, पेज रिप्लेसमेंट, फिर ये आपकी FIFO है, LRU है, फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट पेज रिप्लेसमेंट टेक्निक है, LRU पेज रिप्लेसमेंट टेक्निक है, एंड LRU अप्रोक्सीमेशन टेक्निक है। तो मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट हार्डवेयर फिर आप पढ़ेंगे, एंड इस तरह से ये पूरा चौथा यूनिट का पूरा पोर्शन है। ठीक है? एनी क्वेश्चन अप टू हियर यू वांट टू आस्क?